Technology plays a part in nearly every sport nowadays, whether it be something as simple as an app on your phone or a seemingly magic soccer ball that can detect the condition of the players using it. Today we count down the top 10 coolest technologies in sports. Number 10 is the coach-to-player microphone communicator. This is used in football more than any other sport and is mainly used by a quarterback or linebacker. This simple yet important tool is a vital aspect when in a game. Even players with the most photographic memories need some help from time to time. The microphone is installed directly into the helmet for the most structural support in case it tries to run away during the game-winning play. Sometimes this little device can make the difference between a win or a lose, and there's a ton of money riding on that. Only the coach actually has the microphone. The player just has the speaker in his helmet so he can hear what the coach is saying. To keep things fair, only up to 3 quarterbacks can have a receiver in their helmets. The same rule applies when it comes to the defensive players, only they're only allowed to have 2 receivers in their helmets. Next on our list is fitness tracking apps. There are hundreds of thousands of apps out there that can help you lose weight, gain strength, or just stay healthy overall. Some of these apps include bodybuilding.com, Cyclometer, and Endomondo. These apps can do everything from track how you eat to how you work out, and there are tons of people out there who are great examples of how well these apps actually work. For number 8, we have sports simulations, also known as sports video games. These amazing visual recreations of real sports give people the insight into how the game is actually played. Some of these AAA titles include NBA 2K17, NBL The Show 16, and Madden NFL 17. Even some professional athletes have virtual reality setups so they could practice playing the game when they're not actually in one. This can sometimes give players the edge that they need to win the game. The next piece of technology I'll be talking about is the Cyclops. The Cyclops is a device used in tennis games to determine whether a ball was out of bounds or in bounds. There are 2 machines on either side of the court, and are both shooting and receiving infrared lasers, and if broken, it will tell the scorekeeper that the ball was out of bounds. This is the best way to determine if a ball was in bounds or out of bounds without having to rely on the scorekeeper's eye. This also prevents cheating in games, and ends the debate on whether or not the play was good. Coming in at number 6 is the pitch tracker. The pitch tracker is used in baseball to determine where the location of the ball was when it passes home plate. The 2 cameras on either side of the stadium record a brief video of the time that the pitcher throws the ball to when it crosses home plate. When it passes the base, the computer makes a box that shows where the ball needs to be for it to be considered a strike or not. The zone where it's considered a strike is called the hot zone, while the outside zone where it would be a ball is called the cold zone. When use of this device was starting, it was used very sparingly. Now it's used in almost every major baseball game. The umpires are the people who have this job of deciding whether or not the ball was in or out of bounds, but it's always good to get a second opinion. Next, we have the Hawkeye. This incredible piece of technology is designed to identify small objects such as the size of a baseball and track its speed. This data is used to see how powerful a player's hit is and how accurate they can be at certain speeds. Also, it gives a little bit more competition to see who has the strongest arm when the players are not in a game. The cameras are set up high in the stands so it's away from being hit by anything. They use 3-dimensional tracking to see how fast the ball is going and where the ball is landed. This device is used in tandem with the Cyclops in order to get the most accurate results to make sure that there's no question that the ball landed where it did. Coming in at number 4 is the motion tracking soccer ball called the Inside Coach. This special ball is the world's smartest soccer ball. The sensors in the ball provide real-time data that is fed directly back into the mobile app that pairs with the ball. This ball can track all sorts of things such as touches, force, trajectory, overall playtime, the list goes on. The idea of the app and ball combo is to get kids into soccer and have the pros be able to directly see how they play and hone in on certain areas that need a little work. Not only does the device tell you how you train, but it also provides step-by-step instructional videos on what you need to work on. This ball is as small and as light as a regular ball, and it charges on a wireless charging pad so you can just pick it up and go. It's like having a coach with you anytime you play soccer. The third spot goes to the First and 10 graphics system. Determining exactly where the first down was never really something that was easy. There would be arguments between both teams as to where the person went down with the ball, and it was even harder for a viewer to see where the down was. But thanks to the First and 10 graphics system, it shows up automatically. The downs are marked with a digital yellow line that is stretched across the entire width of the football field. But this doesn't only show the first down marker. It shows the timer, the positions of the players, and where they're headed at any moment in real time on a computer. Similar to the Cyclops, the sensing system assists in finding the down location, but is still a long way away from being so accurate that it doesn't need a human to make a second guess. The number 2 spot goes to prosthetics. Prosthetics give disabled people a chance to play sports again, usually being replacement limbs and ligaments. People with these new parts can do things that they couldn't do while they had their disabilities. Mostly what is seen are people who were missing legs and got leg replacements so that they could run. The problem with prosthetics is that people with prosthetics want to participate in the Olympics. Alright, now hang on there, keyboard warriors, I'm not done yet. There has always been a debate as to whether or not prosthetics can be considered cheating in Olympic events. The reason being, in such events such as the 100-meter dash, people can get certain prosthetics that make them considerably lighter than they would be with legs, and arguably faster because some of them are somewhat spring-loaded for an extra speed boost. And let's face it won't be too long before we got guys who are looking like this, just full armored, walking weapons of mass destruction. So there is a theory that people who have prosthetics might have an unfair advantage against people without, but that's always up for debate. And last but certainly not least, the number 1 spot goes to the Phantom slow motion camera. This beast is the world's fastest massively produced slow motion camera available. One of their most expensive models is the Phantom V711, which is currently unavailable for the common consumer with a max output of 1.4 million frames per second. These are the cameras that are used by any major sports stadium for mostly instant replays. To put things in perspective, this is what a 30 frames per second video would look like, meaning that there are 30 frames recorded every second. And a video that was 10 seconds long would take 10 seconds to play at 30 frames per second, making it 300 frames in total. But if you recorded a video for 10 seconds at a rate of 1.4 million frames per second and played it back at 30 frames per second, it would take you about 5.5 days to watch the video start to finish, coming in at a whopping 14 million frames for just 10 seconds. This amount of unnecessary power makes it easy to figure out what had happened on the last down, or whether he slapped his hand to the ball, or if this guy's just flopping. All unanswered questions waiting to be slowed down. Alright, well that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, thank you for watching, and have a great day.